Zeke's deal not done yet, but that could change at any time, and it's looking more and more like he and the Cowboys are moving toward locking this thing up, which would mean the NFL's leading rusher on the field against the New York Giants. The Cowboys announcing their practice squad today. Daniel Wise, who had a couple sacks in the preseason finale, fifth-round pick Mike Jackson, and last year's sixth-rounder Cedric Wilson are part of that squad. Linebacker Chris Covington and running backs Mike Weber and Jordan Chun also on the practice squad. The Cowboys signing all their own guys with the exception of a tight end and quarterback Clayton Thorson, Philly's fifth-round pick this year from Northwestern. With the opener a week from today, Jason Garrett asked his goal for this coming season.
The goal for this football team is to, compete for a Super Bowl championship. And if that's not your goal, you shouldn't be involved in this. But that's something that we put in the back of our minds, and what we try to do is focus on what we need to do each day to become better players, better coaches, a better football team. And that's really what's on the forefront of our mind. Improve every day. Try to get better every day with the opportunities that we have. That's really what our goal is more than anything else. And hopefully that will allow us to achieve the other goals that we have as we go.
Move to sports now tonight, and Keith Russell.
Hey, Dougie Fresh, just a week from today, me and this man right here will be sitting in that press box at AT&T Stadium, knowing this season is underway. Clarence Hill from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Big hopes, big dreams. What are we talking here?
Is Zeke going to be here?
You know, that's why you're here. You know.
Well, I mean, I think everything hinges on that. I mean, certainly the Cowboys, everything they did in the offseason last year was to set themselves up to take that next step, to try to get to the Super Bowl for the first time since 1995. Many of our kids around there have grown up never knowing the Cowboys to be winners. This is supposed to be that year. Everything they did in the offseason was set up to do that. They need Zeke to do it.
It's September 1st. You know what happened August 1st? You asked the owner, president, and GM, Jerry Jones, this very question.
You worried about this not getting done?
I don't consider it, no. I don't in any way, we've never ever not done one.
Okay.
So I don't worry about that. You just keep plugging.
Just keep plugging. So Thursday, Clarence, Jerry Jones told the media he was preparing to be without Zeke against the Giants. You wrote in your article, maybe we should believe that, maybe we shouldn't believe that. Now we hear it could get done this weekend, then we hear there's obstacles. What are we talking about here?
One of I've never not done one, okay? I always say when Jerry Jones is talking, he likes to say, just because I said it don't make it so. You can say that about whenever I've never not done one, or you can say what he said this week about I expect to start the season without Zeke. He's negotiating. He's been negotiating the entire way. I do know, talking to sources on both sides of the situation, they have reopened talks. There have been more aggressive talks over the weekend, trying to get a deal done to get him on the field for the season opener. There has been a holdup. There has been a snag. The momentum that they built on Saturday night slowed down the day. He's still in Cabo. He's still in Cabo at that Mexican resort, hanging out in Cabo. He's not in Dallas. He won't be in practice tomorrow.
He's still training with Marshall Faulk on the sands?
No, Marshall is gone. Marshall is back in California, wherever he is. He's down there training with his guys, but he's not here. And the closer we get to the game, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be something Jerry needs to worry about. Because you go back to 1993 when the Cowboys had the same dance with Emmitt Smith and he missed 2 games. And certainly this is not a Super Bowl team. That team was coming off a Super Bowl championship. But this team aspires to get there. You need Zeke.
So we've had so much optimism, but now you're bringing us back down to earth a little bit. Is Zeke on the field in your mind Sunday, a week from today, against those Giants?
I've been saying this the whole time, yes. I've been saying this the whole time. Just like all the negotiations. This past week, Jerry, I haven't talked to him, not negotiating. I expect him out on the field. They haven't had talks over the last couple of weeks. Going back to the Zeke Who comments from Hawaii when everybody got their feelings hurt. We all knew once the preseason was over, once they started finalizing the roster, talks would reopen. That's what happened. They did reopen. They did make significant progress. They got a little way to go. Little ways to go.
So that's the deal with number 21. Now let's talk about number 4. Is he sleeping easy, making all these mattress commercials? Is he sleeping easy right now?
Well, he's sleeping easy. He should be sleeping easy. But again, my thing with Dak, and funny, we're talking about Zeke's contract, okay? They were supposed to sign Dak. Okay, from the start of the offseason, Stephen Jones said the priority was to get Dak a new deal because he deserved one, because he outplayed his contract. He's going into this season making $2 million. Okay, if he gets hurt in game one, you're chancing a $30 million, $33 million deal. You know, and Dak has done a great job throughout this training camp offseason, not worrying about the money. You know, he's focused. He's looked good. Looks like he's taking the next step. He's more comfortable. In the back of your mind, though, he needs to get that deal done. I mean, you don't really want him going to the season worrying about $30 million or $32 million or $33 million, whatever that number is going to be going into week 1, week 2, week 3. They need to get that deal done as well.
Number 4, entering year number 4. Clarence, I'm going to read you some numbers. Career completion percentage, 66%. Career TD interception ratio, almost 3-1. Career quarterback rating, 96. 2 NFC East titles. What does he have to do to be considered a top-notch quarterback league-wide?
Well, consider Dak's style. What he needs to do is win. What he needs to do is get the Cowboys to the Super Bowl, because he's never going to put up the numbers, say, of an Aaron Rodgers or even the Carson Wentz. I don't think that's the Cowboys' offense and how they want to do things, especially with Zeke. You know, yes, they are doing some more different things with Kellen Moore, and they want to use some different guys and be more explosive, do some more college-type things. But he's never going to have that high-octane, prolific offense putting up those type of numbers. The thing that separates him from day one that everybody talked about is being like Troy Aikman, being efficient and being a winner. If he's efficient and he's a winner, he'll be considered one of the best.
Real quick, give me a breakout performer on offense this year.
You know it's Michael Gallup.
Okay.
You know it's Michael Gallup. I mean, you don't set me up like that. It's got to be Michael Gallup. He's had a great offseason, great training camp. He's been on the field every day with Dak Prescott, unlike Amari Cooper. Now, let's not kid ourselves. Amari Cooper's still number 1. Yeah. And he's, again, another guy who's talking contract and gonna get paid like a number 1 receiver. He's sitting pretty because he's already making $14 million a year this year. So whatever he gets on the new deal is only gravy for him. He's, unlike Dak and Zeke, who are trying to get their money. Amari's already gotten his money. He's paid this year. And so that next step is for him to get that real deal that he wants to get, like a Julio Jones. But Gallup has been great from minicamp, training camp, preseason game. He has a great relationship with Dak. Everybody looks for him to take that next step.
Cooper, number 1. Gallup, a strong number 2. Strong stuff from Clarence Hill. We break down the real strength of this football team. Dak, Zeke, and Amari, they may grab the headlines, but the Hot Boys and the Purge Squad, they'll set the pace this season. How dominating can that D be? Welcome back, Talking Cowboys with Clarence Hill from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, a week away from the season opener against the New York Giants at AT&T Stadium. How much pressure on Jason Garrett?
Well, you got to get to the championship game or the Super Bowl or you're fired.
You can't just win one playoff game this time.
No, he's done that already. We've seen that show before. We need to see more. I mean, that's why he didn't get a new deal. You know, they've seen him win a division title. They've seen him win a wild card game. You need to get to the NFC Championship game, if not the Super Bowl, to keep your job. That's what it is. That's what's out there on the table for him.
Can Kellen Moore help him do it? What does Kellen Moore bring? All I've heard, Clarence, and you're on the inside way more than I am, all I've heard is Kellen Moore, Kellen Moore, Kellen Moore.
What else you going to hear? They cannot talk down on him. It's a guy they hired to replace Scott Linehan and take them to the next level. I mean, he's young, hopefully innovative, brings some of that college stuff, brings some of that new stuff Jerry talked about. You know, I don't want a guy with experience. I want a guy that's going to get out there and take chances and let it hang and do some of that stuff, and that's what they hope they get for him. They're going to, if you look at what they've done, if you watch their offense in preseason training camp, you know, obviously they're doing more bunch sets. They're doing a lot of more pre-snap motion, doing things, again, I talked about doing more college-type things with Dak. Whenever Zeke gets here, they want to get Zeke and Tony Pollard on the field at the same time. You will see jet sweeps. They showed in practice week, Randall Cobb doing the Wildcat at quarterback position. They're going to get the ball to the fullback more, you know, and different things like that. So they're going to try to be more unpredictable. They were predictable last year. Go back to that Rams game, 4th and 1. Hand the ball to Zeke. Yeah. Right up the middle. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Season's on the line. Just right up the middle? Yeah. Just a running back dive. Come on. They're not going to get there with Kellen Moore. That was the move that got Linehan fired and got Kellen Moore hired.
All right. So let's talk about that side of the ball that doesn't need any gimmicks. that defense? Can it be one of the stronger defenses in the NFL? Can it be the best defense in the NFL?
Well, I mean, hold your horses now. Best defense. Let's get them to be one of the strong. Let's get them turning the ball over. Okay. You know, it's one thing you have a good pass rush, but you got to turn the ball over. They did that a lot this preseason. They had 8 interceptions in the preseason this season. This past preseason, 4 games of preseason. They had 7 interceptions all last season in 16 games. They need to bring that to the regular season. They got to turn the ball. To be an elite defense, dominant defense, you got to turn the ball over. Certainly you like this pass rush. You talked about the hot boys, DeMarcus Lawrence. When Robert Quinn comes back, that's really going to take us to the next level. They can get after the quarterback. They can stop the run. The linebacking core has a chance to be the best duo, certainly with Leighton and Jalen and Asson Lee, maybe possible best trio in the league. So they got in the secondary, take the ball away, turn the ball over. Xavier Woods, Byron Jones coming back off the hip surgery. Certainly you like what he did last year, but one thing he hasn't done throughout his career, turn the ball over. He hasn't got a lot of interceptions. They need playmakers that can take the ball away.
What, besides that, taking the ball away, what worries you about this Cowboys team?
Injuries. Number one, let's talk about whenever Zeke comes back, you don't want him to pull a hamstring. You don't want him to get, he's been in Cowboys. They say he's working out. They say he's getting it done, but you don't know because he hasn't been there with the team. And you cannot simulate football moves, football things on the beach in Cowboys. I don't care how much you run in the sand, do your little Rocky thing, and all that stuff. You got to play football, and it is not just about running and cutting. It's getting twisted and all that stuff. So those soft tissue injuries that we talked about, you worry about that with Zeke, and also the offensive line. Tyron Smith, Zach Martin missed most of training camp with back injuries. Those things don't go away. And the offensive line is the foundation of a team. We already know what happened when Tyron Smith was out a couple of years ago. You cannot lose those guys.
Quick prediction. Record this season. Cowboys on the spot. Clarence
on the spot with Zeke.
Yes.
11-5.
11-5.
Without Zeke, 8-8.
All right. A touching moment at the University of Texas El Paso last night. The team paid tribute to Luke Laufenberg at their season opening game against Houston Baptist. Luke, the son of Babe Laufenberg, who lost his battle with cancer late last week, was a tight end for UTEP. A framed jersey was presented to Babe and the family. The UTEP players will also wear black stickers on their helmets in honor of Luke all season long. Here's Babe on what made Luke one of a kind.
In one word, I would say sweet. And he probably wouldn't like to hear that because he was a football player. But he was this big 6'4", 240-pound, sweet kid. And what was interesting is he had really a horrible fight through 2 bouts of cancer. And he never complained. He never said, why me? He specifically said, I don't want anybody's pity. And he said, I just want to go about my life and live it normally. Even when we found out he was terminal, which was July 12th, he just said, I want to go about my business, and I don't want anybody to treat me special, which to me made him all the more special.
An incredible display of strength, first shown by Luke and now by Babe and the Laufenberg family. Something everyone has to admire. More news and a final look at the forecast. That's on the way.